Morning, you two. Hope you're well. So it's Monday morning. I hope you all had a really lovely weekend and celebrated VE Day with your grown-ups. Perhaps you had a nice little picnic and really thought about the meaning of VE Day. Anyway, back to Monday. So ready for another week of learning. Now, today's topic lesson is PSHE, and we're going to think about ourselves really and think about the positives of lockdown at the moment. So obviously last week we sent you the booklet, Living in Lockdown, and that was for you to fill out, in your own time when you felt like you were ready to fill it in. Because, we've been noticing that some of you are, sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days, and that's okay because everybody feels like that at the moment. It's so important to reflect back on how you feel, especially in this time. So I thought, why don't we do an activity today to do with lockdown and try to remember all the positives about in our days and thinking of the good things that can happen to us. We're going to do a bit of drawing and a bit of writing and hopefully something that you can share in your Zooms later. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint with you now and hopefully it'll become a little bit clear about what we're going to do today. So let's start from the beginning. Here we go. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about comic strips. Now, some of you should know what a comic strip is. Maybe you've seen them in newspapers, magazines, books, they're everywhere, but we don't always really talk about them. We always talk about lots of reading books. So what it would be fun to have a look at some comic strips today. So we're going to think about what is a comic strip and what does a comic strip include. So let's have a little look. So sometimes when we have comic strips, they can try to make jokes. So this comic, for instance, you can see that there's two girls and they're trying to be looking for things, maybe they're trying to find different treasures. And this girl, she's really, really pleased that she's just been able to find a penny. She's just saying, oh, I never find anything. But look, they're not even realizing, well, she's actually sitting, look, on top of a skeleton of, I think, looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So, right beneath them, they don't even realize what a treasure that there actually is. I hope they did eventually find that. So they do tend to try and make some jokes. This one here, what does it say? You shouldn't eat in the woods, Boone. Why? Swipes the bread. Hey, you never know when you'll attract a hungry bear. Oh dear. So you can clearly see the story from one page to the next. And look, all you can see really are pictures and captions in that speech bubble, okay? This one is telling a story. So it says, once upon a time, a princess tried to make a comic. So you can see the first picture doesn't even have any speech, but you can imagine that she's sitting there trying to write a comic. And what does she say? I just can't draw well enough to make a comic. Poof. Now that word makes us imagine that something's just about to appear. And what does it say? What? Who are you? And that person says, that's not true. I'm the magic cartooning elf and I can help you make comics. You like to doodle, don't you? Yeah, but I'm not good enough to make an awesome comic. So you can see that conversation between them. It's a bit like a story, but it's not written as a story. It's just shown in a comic strip, okay? So let's just think about it. It says comic strips tell a story using pictures and speech. So usually they are in speech bubbles and sometimes they might be in a zigzag shape, sometimes they were in a circular shape. And then sometimes a comic might use captions or something called onomatopoeia. Year 2, can you say that for me? Onomatopoeia. So onomatopoeia is a word that sounds like what it represents, such as, now can you see some of these examples down here? You've got the word poof, as we just saw in that last comic. You've got the word kaboom, ah, crack, vroom, gulp. Oh dear, they're a bit nervous there. So you have these large words and that's just showing onomatopoeia. You're imagining what's happening and that sounds like it's what it's supposed to be, okay? So that's what onomatopoeia is. Now, today's task. Today, your task is to create your own comic strip, okay, about a day in the life of lockdown. Now, again, I know that lots of you watching this will be at home, and obviously some of the children at school, but we're following a new routine. But I thought it would be really important to think about the positive things in your day, and everybody's day is different because lots of children are following different routines. So try and think of your daily routine. Think about what you enjoy doing in your day. Maybe choose one of your weekend days. Think about what you do when it's not schooling time. Think about how you set up your day. What routine do you have in place? Maybe you could draw and write about one of your favourite moments since we've had lockdown, and perhaps, maybe B-Day celebrations. It's whatever you want to do your comic strip on, okay? But most importantly, I just want you to really focus on your positives. Don't try and think of, oh, well, it's the same old day. And it's really, really hard to not think of it in that way. But try to think of your positives. So let's stop sharing this for a second. There we go. And let me show you the example of the comic strip that you're going to try and have a go. And like I said, if you can't print this off, or you're running out of prints and paper, you can draw your own comic strip as well. It's not a problem. So you can see that let me just zoom out of this. You can see it all on one page. There you go. So you've got 6 boxes here. So you can pick 6 parts of your day. You could say, oh, later on or after this, use those time ordering words. Think about your order of your day. How's it going to work? And you can write about what you're thinking and feeling in those boxes. Maybe it's your grown-ups, what they're saying to you as part of your day. Whatever you want to do as part of your comic strip. But remember, it's a day in the life of lockdown. And actually you could then look back at this when you're older and think, oh my goodness, we went through this and this is something that I was doing as part of my day, okay? So it's a bit like a memory, something you can keep for a long time, just to remind you of how well you were coping, how well you were dealing with everyday situation, and, really trying to focus on that positive. So have fun with this. I'm sure the teachers will look forward to looking at your comic strips later in your Zoom times. And yes, speak to you soon. Bye.